Good morning, children. Here I come to you today with the discussion on the shifting of the pressure belt. In previous video, we have discussed about the permanent pressure and what is that, how the permanent pressure or the is caused. There are two pressures, low pressure and high pressure, due to what and all that we have discussed. I am not going to revise just now, but remember all the points that we have, 3 points especially we have discussed in the previous discussions regarding this. Remember this, this lesson we are dealing, in this lesson we are dealing about the weather and the climate, how the weather and climate are affected, what are the factors that have to play great role in the formation of the weather and the climate. In that we are discussing today the shifting of pressure belt. Now yesterday we had discussed the permanence. Now today we are going to shifting, maybe the contrary. Let us see what is there in the discussions, how we come out with the discussion and able to balance it. Okay, remember that. So the above pressure belt, that is the equatorial pressure belt, low pressure belt, subtropical high pressure belt, subpolar low pressure belt and polar high pressure belt. Above this, all these static are not static. All these are not static. Not there is permanent place is there, but at the same time they are not static. They are fluctuating. So in that fluctuation, in that movement, we are talking about that movement or shifting. Okay, clear? Okay, the temperature of the earth's surface controls the pressure belt. What is that? Temperature. What is the other factor? Other factor, one is temperature. Other factor to create the pressure, I'll not tell. Okay, as the sun moves northwards, that is the Tropic of Cancer, northwards, Tropic of Cancer, that is when it goes, time also is given, during March to June, and the southwards, where, that is Tropic of Capricorn. Remember this four important lines of latitudes. Okay, so here down it is Tropic of Capricorn, up it is Tropic of Cancer. So Tropic of Cancer, during the movements, sun movements towards the September and December, this pressure belt also shifts a little to the north and south, along with the apparent movement of the sun. Because apparent, by that means the movement of the sun. Because of this movement of the sun, this movement takes place at the north point, north and the south point. The amount of the shifting is more in the northern hemisphere than in the southern hemisphere. A part of shifting is more in the northern hemisphere rather than the southern hemisphere, because southern hemisphere remains at the more or less that, and the more movement takes place takes place in the northern hemisphere. Okay, more in the northern hemisphere than in the southern hemisphere. As there is more land in the northern hemisphere, the average of temperature also is higher. Why it is? Because of the land formation. And in the southern hemisphere it is always cold. So temperature is higher. Thus each pressure belt shifts 5 to 10 from its normal position. So 5 to 10 degree from the normal temperature. Always there is a shift. Always there is a shift due to the temperature in the northern hemisphere. Okay. Next point of our discussion is, so remember here what are the times that moves. It is here during the month of March and June, here during the month of September and December. Because of the temperature, here it is not given other point, only they have stated here, it is stated due to the temperature. In the northern hemisphere it is more temperature, in the southern hemisphere it is less temperature. Next point is the humidity. Humidity refers to the amount of water vapor present in the air. The amount of water vapor in the atmosphere varies greatly from place to place and time to time. Place to place and time to time. Humidity is closely related to temperature change. Most of the moisture in the air comes from the water bodies because of the evaporation. It evaporates and then it goes up and then it settles, or it is settles in the air, and then it floats in the air, and due to that there is more humidity. When the temperature is high, the rate of evaporation is also higher, and the humidity also will be high. In the same way, when the temperature is low, humidity also is low. Very simple. The actual amount of water vapor, remember, actual amount of water vapor in a given volume, of air at a given temperature is known its absolute humidity. Remember, this water vapor is measured. What is the instrument name? Hygrographic. Okay. So remember the measurement, actual measurement of the volume of water vapor present in the air at a given temperature is known its absolute humidity. This is a definition. What do you mean by absolute humidity? So it is. Next one. It is measured in grams per cubic meter of air. The next one. First one is over. Absolute humidity. Next one. The ratio between the actual amount of water vapor. In the air at a given temperature and the maximum amount of water vapor that the same air can hold at that particular temperature is known as relative humidity. What is that? The first definition, like actual amount of water vapor in a given temperature. Here it is the ratio between the actual amount of water vapor and the maximum water vapor that can contain in a particular given temperature is known its relative humidity. So remember these two definitions. This is expressed in percentage, that is in cubic per meter. Here it is percentage. It's not given exactly. Relative humidity increases or decreases with variations in the air temperature. According to the temperature of the air, it varies. The ratio varies. When relative humidity is high, the air is moist, as it is in the equatorial region. In the equatorial region, because of the high humidity, air also is hot, moist. When the relative humidity is low, relative humidity is low, the air is dry, and it is the hot desert. That happens in the hot deserts, when air can hold no more moisture. It is said it is saturated. This is said saturated and its relative humidity is per 100%. Saturated is relative humidity is 100%. It is saturated. Remember this word. This word you will come. What is the saturated? Means extracted, taken out. Okay, saturate. Cooling beyond this level will condense. Cooling beyond this level. This level, after that there is a coolant. Condense the water vapor into cloud of rain. Forms the condense and then takes the formation of the clouds or the rain. The temperature at which condensation sets is called its dew point. Very easy. So here there are three. One is relative humidity. The other one is the absolute humidity. Then comes the saturation. What is the saturations? And then dew point. What is dew point? So these are the things, these points, you please remember that. Okay. Next one is evaporation. Evaporation. We know that why it is evaporates. Evaporation is the process by which the water changes into liquid. Changes from liquid to the gases. Yes. Or liquid to the gases or vapor state through the process of heating. What is the process? Heat. Evaporation is the primary path through which water moves from liquid state back to its water cycle as atmospheric water vapor. Atmospheric water vapor. Scientific studies says that the studies have shown that the ocean, seas, lakes and rivers provide nearly 90% of moisture in the atmosphere through the process of evaporation. This is very simple. I am not going to do much of this. And the tiny amount comes from the sublimation. Sublimation. Okay. What is sublimation? Remember that sublimation. So sublimation is the process by which the ice changes directly into the water vapor without first becoming liquid. Okay. Ice changes directly into vapor, water vapor without first becoming into liquid. Okay. That is called sublimation. Remember that. This is very important in your science. It also comes from the moist ground and from the animal or plant, from the animal body or plant body, and evaporates. That's so continuous evaporation is taking place. Evaporation occurs everywhere at all times. Continuous. That's what I said. According to the temperature. Temperature is more, then evaporation also will be more. If temperature is less, then it is less. However, the rate of evaporation varies. The rate of evaporation increases when the air is hot and dry and windy, and it decreases when the air is cool and moist and calm. This is the reason why clothes dry faster in the hot or the sunny and much longer takes in the humid day. On the humid day, clothes get dry very slowly. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. I am not going to take much of your time, but remember the discussions that we have done. Okay, thank you.